I apologize in advance for the video quality. It's kind of shaky, not very good, and the audio is not that great either. So we're going to talk about QuiBids. I'm going to talk about how to be good at QuiBids, how to win at QuiBids. Okay. First off, what you need to do is pick out what you want to win. Okay. And in my case right here, I want to tag out one of these gift cards. So what I've done is I've put all these on my watch list, and I'm just kind of getting these to kind of see where they're ending at as far as the prices go, and at what times they're ending, because that's important. Okay. So you definitely want to do that. Find what you want to win, and then go out and just mark all of them and start doing the research. What are they going for and at what time? Okay. Other things you want to kind of pay attention to is go back in the history and look out what else was being auctioned off when your item was being auctioned off. So a lot of times, if you can find your item that you want to bid on, and you can find it and there's some really big auctions going on around it, and it's at a good time, that's really when you want to jump into an auction. Okay? When you want to start competing. So this is the type of research you need to do. If you're not doing this, you're not responsibly bidding on QuiBids. Okay? So let's take a look right here. Show you some beginner mistakes that are going on. See, right, all these people, it hasn't reached 20 seconds yet, the first 20-second mark, and all these people have already bid, got it up to 26 cents. Okay? All these people wasted their bids. Okay? You do not want to be these people. So now I'm going to go over the proper way to bid, I guess. So first off, do not bid before it reaches the 20-second mark. Okay? And never be the first person to bid. There's always going to be someone that'll place that bid for you. And never be the second person to bid. I mean, on medium-sized auctions to large auctions, as far as the item, I mean, this is a $200 gift card. This is about a medium-high. You know, there's no point. All these people are going to waste their bids for you. There's no reason to even get involved at this point, right? So we're assuming you've done all the research. You know about where this price is going to end up before the auction ends. You've picked a good time. Hopefully there's some other big auctions that are going to distract a lot of the normal people that would be going for this auction. So to kind of limit your competition. Things you want to look at now for bidding is the number of bidders. Never place a bid if the number of bidders in the last 5 minutes is greater than 10 bidders. Okay? It's just ridiculous. If you've got 20, 17, 15 bidders on there, there's way too much action, and it's the auction's just going to keep going, and there's no point in you throwing your bid away why they do that. So I guess the rules for jumping into an auction, like I said, make sure that you got the right amount of bidders. Make sure it's reached about that point that you think the auction's going to end at, and you're going to watch these bidders here. Now what you want is either 2 to 3, 3's pushing it, but you want 2 or 3 people that are going into a crazy bidding war. Okay? It's really nice when you just have 2 people and they're just going back and forth for top position. Okay? That's your indicators that it's getting pretty close to ending, and you need to have your finger over the bid button. Now, rules for bidding. You never want to bid unless there's 1 second left, and that's for jumping into a bid or jumping into the auction. The reason for this is if you wait, let's see how many times I would have to bid if I chose to only bid at 1 second. Okay, I wouldn't have had to bid there. Wouldn't have had to bid there. And that's really going to go on for a long time. So there's no point in me throwing out these early bids. All these people are showing me that they're going to bid before, you know, that's why you have the rule of wait till 1 second. But that, like I said, that's just for jumping into an auction. Okay, that's not for how to win. Okay, once you're into the auction and you've actually placed your bid, You want to be the guy, let's say it gets down to, right here it's at a 20-second interval. You want to get it down to a 10-second interval. If it hasn't gotten to that point, it's not really time to jump in yet. It's going to keep going. Some of these stay at 20 for the entire thing. You know, that kind of sucks. But for the ones that will eventually drop down to 10, you probably need to wait until it drops down to that 10 point, because that's about where it's going to start getting tighter and people are going to start losing interest because they're having to spend way too many bids. So, kind of lost my train of thought. So what I was saying is on how to win. So once it gets down to 10 seconds and you're already in the auction, you've placed a bid, you want to be the guy that starts it right at 10 seconds and it goes down. You want everybody else to be waiting for that 1 second. And the reason for that is you want people to eventually, hopefully they'll get confused or get tired of bidding or something like, you know, one of those things will happen. Hopefully the confused part, because if that happens you'll luck out and get it real cheap. And they'll miss their bids because they'll think somebody else is going to bid at that 1 second mark or 2 second mark, and then no one ends up bidding and you take the win. Let's see. Little things, other rules. Stay away from people with bid-o-matic. Okay, let those compete against each other. You see a lot, like there's 2 people here that have bid-o-matics. Alright, you don't even need to be involved. Let them run their bid-o-matics against each other and run the clocks out on it. You know, let them throw out their bids. Okay, there's no reason people should be throwing out these single bids right now. Let these 2 guys with the bid-o-matics just run their course. Yeah, bid-o-matics are really worthless unless you're using it to bully your way and try to discourage other people from voting or bidding. And it's really only good on small ticket items or at the very, very end of the auction. Okay, this is the beginning of the auction. These people that are using bid-o-matic are just wasting their bids. So, don't do that. The way these things usually work is you'll have a whole bunch of people and they'll be throwing out a whole lot of bids, completely wasting them. You'll have some people that'll throw out 20, 30, 40, up to 200 bids on a single auction and not win. Okay, that's because they're idiots. They're just plain out simple. If you did that and then you went on YouTube or something like that and started crying and playing like that little blonde kid with the headphones, it's because you're stupid. Okay. There's no point in it. The people that win these things only place 4 or 5 bids. Okay, that's because they wait. Okay, they look at all the cues, they check out the numbers, they know the prices, they've done research, they're watching how people are betting. They're looking for trends and patterns so they can jump in at the right time, and they follow rules. Like if you jump in to a bid, you think it's the end, you jump in and you end up in a bidding war that ends up eating 10 of your bids and it's still going, back out. The moment somebody else tries to jump in with you, let them jump in and back out and let him take over and fight with that other guy. Let them burn out their bids. It's okay if you jump in too early. It happens. It'll be almost the end of the auction. You think it's the end, and then a major auction is over, and all those people jump over to this one, and you just gotta learn to back out. Be patient. Okay, you'll have to wait again for it to come to that ending point. I've seen these get all the way down to 7 bidders. And I was about to jump in, and then it jumped all the way up to 17. So it's just about being patient. Know what the auction's worth to you, so that's part of just researching it. This auction for me at the 2 cents auction, and make sure, because these same things, the things you're going to watch out for, is this same auction is going to come up later, and it's going to be a 1 penny auction, alright? And there's going to be a lot of action on it, but I'm going to end up getting it at a lower price. So watch out for what type of auction it is. Let's see, is there anything else I want to share with you? Staying away from bid-o-matics, covered that. Really, if you're new to QuiBids, don't buy any bids, don't use any bids. Watch them, pay attention. Alright, create strategies. Think about what are all these people doing wrong. Okay, and most of the time it's pretty obvious. They're just throwing away their bids. Yeah, I'm running blank. I don't think I have anything else I really want to share at this time. We covered that. Sorry, I'm looking at a list of things I wrote down for you guys. Yeah, that's pretty much it. One thing here, the way this can be useful, I know a lot of people aren't really paying attention to it. They just think, they look at it a couple times, think it's really cool. Right, this is actually somewhat useful to you to go ahead and get on Wikipedia or someplace and figure out the time zones. Okay, they're pretty easy, and that'll give you a big heads up because you want to kind of know what's going on. If they're an hour or 2 hours behind or in front of you, that gives you an idea of where they're voting from, or if they're just staying home that day and they're voting, or if they might be having to get back to work pretty soon. So you lose a whole bunch of bidders and be able to take the win if you calculate into what all these other people might have to do in their lives. So pay attention to it. That's why it's going to be harder to win bids after midnight. It's harder to win bids on the weekends. Those are times that that's when the most action's here, and you don't want to play against that. Not all these rules apply to the really small ticket items. Maybe I'll do another video for that. The small ticket items are really easy to win. Yeah, they're not hard. And some of the rules that I've laid out, these are for medium, high, and the really high end auctions. Okay. Watch these guys if you're really into it and you've done your research and you think this is the one. Look at who's betting or bidding over and over and over again, and keep a rough estimate of how much you think they've put in. Do they have 30-40 bids in there already? How invested are they? How aggressive are they being? These are little cues that you need to pay attention to. As you look here, this has jumped up to 18, so I'm nowhere close to even thinking about jumping into this auction. Alright, so reserve your bids, save them, use them wisely and conservatively, and you're going to come away with some really awesome prizes really cheap. Okay, all these other people, they're really just here to raise up the price of the auction and waste money because they don't know what they're doing. Alright, well, that's it. Have fun on QuiBids.